horrors on the Arabic internet. I am curious what this is about. This is by Farrell McGuire. I think that's how you say it. Maybe. I don't know. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, we'll jump in. I am curious. It's probably gonna talk about stuff that is on the Arabic internet. Probably like horror channels, Arabic horror channels, maybe? Who knows? Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Here we go.
In the mid-2010s, the internet was busy developing its own unique genres of horror content. Before this era, the majority of spooky stuff you would find online would more or less be the same sort of content you could find offline, like scary commercials or clips from horror movies. But over the 2010s, creepypastas,
now go change your shorts and go back to work. Funny.
Internet mysteries, and ARGs would become essential parts of internet culture, creating a whole new subsection of horror media that only exists on the internet. Here in the West, we typically focus on the same few flavors of internet horror. Reddit mysteries, online rabbit holes, analog horror, you probably all know it pretty well by now. But during this
not the fucking dolphin face thingy. That looks so uncanny. Don't like it. Yeah, but analog horror is usually pretty good.
Formative period in the mid-2010s, other parts of the world were also busy developing their own unique takes on internet horror. Like for example, the Russian Death Files, which is a genre we've talked about often on this channel. Our first topic for today is one such unique non-Western niche of internet horror. On February 18th, 2017, new YouTuber Abdullah Al-Ambari would make his first upload. The video is a fairly standard urban exploration of the Khaybar fort in Saudi Arabia. Abdullah takes us around, tells us a bit of backstory to the fort, and that's it. Nothing out of the ordinary happens. At least not until his second video, which was put up only 5 days later. This clip is another urban exploration, this time of an abandoned hospital in the city of Mecca. The first thing you'll notice is some issues Abdullah is seemingly having with this camera, which appears to be glitching every so often.
I don't see any big issues with the camera. I do, however, I thought I heard a voice, which is not fun.
The second thing you'll notice is the overall different feeling of this video. While his first upload was bright, open, and displaying an interesting piece of history, this one is dark, claustrophobic, and showing us a decrepit building. We can only really see whatever Abdullah is pointing his flashlight at, and there's an eeriness that seems to pervade this entire video. Occasionally, we come across a dirty mattress on the ground.
Well, that makes sense. It is an abandoned building after all.
And as our cameraman gets deeper and deeper into the hospital, we can hear the increasingly loud sounds of a call to prayer.
Well, mattresses in the hospital, not surprising.
That's been unrecognizably warped by the echoing empty stone hallways. Eventually, Abdullah makes it onto the roof of the building, which is when the tension plaguing the rest of the video seems to dissipate. We're no longer peeking around dark corners, the call to prayer sounds much more normal up here, and this is also where the video ends. While this clip is undeniably tense and creepy, it's a little hard to call it horror. But Abdullah wasn't done there.
It's just a little weird. I wouldn't call it horror, just like odd and weird, and a weird change in style, which is also kind of odd, sure. But I don't see anything crazy going on here. I guess a few camera glitches, though those could also be edited, who knows.
His next video will make it clear just which direction he was planning to take his channel in. The title of his next upload tells us that during this next Urbex adventure, he encountered a jinn. Alright, we gotta take a second here to go over what jinns are. In Western culture, we typically separate spirits into two categories, ghosts and demons. Demons are always bad, and ghosts are usually bad, but sometimes they can be good. Demons are inhuman supernatural creatures, whereas ghosts are implied to be the spirit of a person who's died. While there are demons in Arabic culture, most supernatural beings fall into the category of jinns.
There's good jinns and there's bad jinns, as far as I'm aware.
Or as you may know them, genies. A jinn is not really a ghost, but is also more similar to a human than a ghost is. A ghost is kind of implied to be between the realms of the living and the realms of the dead, but jinns very much live on this mortal plane of existence. Just like humans, they have free will and can even live as practicing Muslims, which will help them when they die because in Islam, jinns are subject to the same divine judgment from God that humans are. Jinns are usually invisible, but can shapeshift and appear as whatever creature or being they choose to. They typically live in dark, desolate, and abandoned places deep in the desert. Their intentions towards people are more or less neutral. You can think of jinns as like a race of humanoid cryptids that live alongside humans, sometimes helping us, sometimes hurting us. Abdullah's third video starts with him walking in the desert alone at night, only carrying a flashlight and his camera. He's walking up to another abandoned fortress.
Yeah, that would make me... Why is it... Oh, I have to ask this. What is the weird obsession with running around with a flashlight in the middle of the night in the dark? What is that? Stop.
This one apparently has a reputation for being inhabited by jinn. Only 2 minutes into the video, just as he's approaching the entrance to the fortress, this happens.
الحسن من المنطقة الوسطى. أحاول أسجل قدر الإمكان بأسرع وقت المقاطع لكن ما ألحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إيش هذا؟
Motherfucker, is that a person? What the fuck? Yeah, I'd run the other way around. Like, I'd not, like, I take my feet into my hands and I'll just run. It's fun, Poke. No, it's not. No, it is not. No. Nope.
شايفين؟
As indicated by the always useful red circle, Abdullah appears to have already come across a jinn before even setting foot into the supposedly haunted fortress. He calls out to the creature but receives no response, so apparently not feeling any sort of fear or hesitation at this.
I just got jump scared by my dad. He opened the door outside and I could see it and I was like, the door is opening. I was like, holy shit. My father jump scared me. Peak absolute cinema. Crazy.
Seemingly frightening situation, he begins to walk towards the entity, but when he gets to the entrance, it's no longer there. The rest of the video is much like the last, a tense urban exploration video of a dark and decrepit place. Putting the supposed jinn sighting at the beginning of this clip was probably just a tactic to drive viewership, but would Abdullah also succeed?
Probably. But to be fair, that's usually the case. Yeah, that's usually the case. To drive up viewership, obviously. Makes sense.
In doing was planting the seeds for a homegrown and entirely Arabic form of internet horror, Arab ghost hunting. Ghost hunting in the West typically follows a very particular format that you're almost certainly familiar with. A team of quote-unquote paranormal experts enter a supposedly haunted place, set up a bunch of fancy equipment, and try to capture evidence of the supernatural. Not much usually happens in these investigations, and when things do happen, there are usually vague sounds or faint orbs captured on camera. These shows and videos always present themselves as scientific investigations of something that's inherently unscientific, and they often end up being a little boring and dry because of it. Arab ghost hunting, on the other hand, is a whole different beast. There's no fancy equipment, just brave adventurers with their flashlight.
What the fuck? Just a random dude hanging. Crazy. Dude, I said it again and again. Never call for that entity. Just say, I'm not here to harm and run away. I'll be real. I'm not saying anything. I'm just running. Because what if it's actually not an entity? What if it's a human? And next you know, you'll end up on a grill to be eaten. No, that was not funny because the door sprung open. And I was like, what the fuck? Huh? Because I was looking at the screen and then the corner of my eye out of the window, the door springs open and I was like, what the fuck? Just like, boom. I was like, what the fuck? Crazy.
It's in cell phone cameras. This is the WWE version of ghost hunting and is infinitely more entertaining. While Abdullah's first couple of videos are fairly tame, he would up the ante significantly as he became more and more popular.
شوفوا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم شوفوا لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله حمامات بسم الله إيش
Diabolical. Just random stuff dropping around. To be fair, it's really the classic, to be honest. Yeah, but they're a lot more aggressive in their approach.
شوفوا كيف لين هناك هذه الممرات كلها كاملة بسم الله
That looked like the average Muslim woman. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. That looked like the average. Also, it's like random dudes hanging from the ceiling. Crazy. I want the ghost one day to call me slurs. Just angrily screams at whatever's behind the door, at whoever's behind the door. They use the Arab parents' way. True. They're just like screaming aggressively at it. Not gonna lie, that probably would be my mom would react this way if like she saw the door slapping open and closing again, just screaming at it violently while walking towards it.
I think what makes these videos so unsettling isn't just the paranormal activity, a lot of the creepiness is driven by the setting. Remember when I said how jinns are thought to inhabit dark and abandoned places deep in the desert? All these Arab ghost hunting channels follow this idea, and these videos are mostly filmed in these really creepy decrepit buildings. Even if there were no dark figures crossing into view or doors slamming or sounds of distant screaming echoing through the empty hallways, these videos would still be pretty creepy. There are two main channels of pioneer.
Oh no, a dude with a bald head is looking at me. Horrible. What will scare me if I scare them first? Scare the ghost. That's a new way of doing it.
Arab ghost hunting. One of them is obviously Abdullah Al-Ambari. The other one though is Hassan Barbar. Hassan Barbar started his channel about a year and a half after Abdullah Al-Ambari. The content is very similar. Vertical cell phone videos showing abandoned Middle Eastern buildings illuminated by a flashlight with the occasional encounter with jinns. Where Hassan differs though is
I'll be real. This looks more like cult members. Bro, out there Voldemort. Also, did you just have like a walking stick and like wagging it at the black hooded person? Crazy.
the directness of his paranormal encounters. In Abdullah Al-Ambari's videos, the horror tends to be pretty similar to something like a found footage movie. You never really see the jinns up close, you only ever catch vague glimpses of them moving in the distance. What you do see are the things the jinns are doing, like doors slamming, loud strange sounds, or objects breaking. I think keeping the thing terrorizing you as an unknown is a good way to make horror more effective, but Hassan Barbar has a very different way of doing things. In his videos, he almost always gets up close and personal with jinns. Usually this manifests as Hassan walking up to a hooded figure that has their back towards the camera, and then they have a conversation. The voices of these jinns generally tends to be pretty strange, and they all seem to speak with this weird cadence.
أنا جاي بدي تعملي لي سحر. بدفع. تقتل واحدة من الناس. أقتل واحدة منكم؟
That sounds like the average woman with I don't know, throat issues. This lady has a cold, clearly. Very clearly. Very clearly.
طب أشوف وجهك.
You know what this sounds like? Like a fucking chicken. Like a rooster in the morning. This sounded like a rooster. The last one in the morning.
أنت مين؟ أنت إيش؟ أنت مين؟ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the following video, Hassan is walking through the hills of Jordan alone at night. As always, only armed with a flashlight and a cell phone. He eventually spots a lone figure standing still in a ravine in the distance. He walks
When are we getting just straight up people breaking into mental asylums? Outlast style? When is that happening? I'm waiting for it. The fact that nothing like that is out there is actually surprising. At this point, I'm waiting for it.
towards it and gets close enough to talk to it, but the jinn doesn't say anything. It just stands there staring at Hassan. The jinn's face seems to be obscured by long, light hair, but from what we can see of his face, it appears to have darkish gray skin. At some points in the video, the jinn will open and close his mouth erratically as if it's talking in some frantic manner, but no sound appears to come out.
غريب. انت بشر انت. اخوان ايش هذا؟
Well, I do hear sounds coming from that. That's probably a skinwalker. All skinwalkers. It's just, I do hear clicking noises.
Hassan continues to try to talk to the jinn, but to no avail, and he eventually decides to leave, turning his back every few seconds to make sure the jinn is still in the same spot.
إنه والله وين هذا؟ وين راح؟ إخوان والله كان هون. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان.
I don't know, man. The sheer absurdity of this is enough to make it creepy. Not much else really happens in the video.
To be fair, if it got that close, I'd throw hands. You catching a hand. I don't care what happens after that, but you catching a hand.
After that weird jump scare, Hassan mostly just backs away from the jinn until the video ends. In another face-to-face encounter with the jinn, Hassan is giving his intro to the camera when he gets interrupted by a voice calling out to him in the distance.
شو صندوق الوصف والكل يدعم يا إخوان.
طيب جديد يمكنك الدخول.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وينك؟
Hassan cuts his intro short and begins searching for whoever was trying to talk to him. He begins shining his flashlight through the halls of an obviously long abandoned building.
Why would you though? Why would you though? There's actual real videos of crazy people just hiding in buildings. Why would you though? Logically speaking. They're of course fake, but logically speaking, why would you?
And he eventually sees a dark figure standing at the end of one of them.
أيوه.
لقد عرفته.
عرفتني؟
نعم.
مين أنا؟
إنك من تريد أن تفشي السر.
أفشي السر؟
The jinn and Hassan begin following each other around this abandoned building, carrying on a conversation that appears to be mostly made up of the jinn asking Hassan nonsense riddles. The jinn in this case just appears to be a guy wearing tape on his face. It's so simple and stupid on the surface, but just like the last video, the sheer absurdity of this situation combined with the setting is enough to make this pretty creepy in a surreal way.
So realistically, the only thing I need is abandoned buildings, a dude with tape on his face, and the flashlight, and that's it.
Hassan Barber has a ton of videos, each with their own wacky twist on what a jinn is.
إنها رائعة الملكة العزيزة. كيف أتيت بها؟
While the jinns in Abdullah al-Ambari's videos tend to follow a more Western form of ghosts and hauntings, Hassan appears to stick closer to the more traditional idea of jinns. Not really ill-intentioned ghosts, but rather another race of human-like creatures with supernatural powers that live alongside us. With a traditional jinn being neutral towards us, an encounter with one of them is more likely to be just weird.
Can jinns be female? Lore-wise, can jinns be female? Just stupid. Why? Good question. Because apparently it's funny.
Than bad or good. Maybe this doesn't always make for scarier videos, but I think it does make them quite a bit more interesting and unique. Arab ghost hunting creators have garnered huge followings over the
Because if they are, I'm cracking. Yeah, I'd crack. if there were female jinns.
Years. Hassan Barber, for example, has almost 900,000 subscribers on YouTube and close to 2 million followers on TikTok. With so much attention on these videos, it's no surprise that Arab ghost hunting has blossomed into its own niche, with countless smaller creators replicating the format, which has also brought about new trends in the genre. Like, for example, there's a sort of reckless fearlessness in a lot of Arab ghost hunting videos. When some of these investigators hear jinns,
I'm waiting for like ghost hunting videos, where they eventually just start throwing hands with a ghost, just like WWE at this point.
during somewhere in the depths of one of these abandoned buildings, it doesn't strike any kind of fear. Instead, they break out in a mad dash towards the source of the sound.
That is so silly. That is so silly. You just want that just someone in a white robe just runs past you. That's so silly. So amateur and silly. Just film slams, nothing in there. Obviously. It's just dudes being silly.
Like anything in life, Arab ghost hunting was not born in a vacuum. In fact, the format is almost a carbon copy of this supposedly real viral video from many years ago.
دور 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 شايف غفلة غفلة غفلة.
The video begins with what seems to be
Wait, is that the clip of like that old chick just like wiggling towards them? Dude, be like, scare your mama, bitch. Like wiggling slowly. Would you ever go into a forest that is with trying to pretend a friend or relative? Insert demonic Sukuna look with his hands rubbing together. I'm cracking skinwalkers.
a view out the front of a car on a desert road at night. As the clip goes on, a white figure slowly makes its way into the shot. The person appears hunched over and walks with a very strange gait. They use a cane to keep themselves upright. As they make their way towards the car, the driver appears to get spooked and begins frantically reversing. And just like an animal whose predator instinct has been activated, the strange figure begins chasing the car, eliciting screams from those within it.
Yeah, that clip I know. The wiggles. It's now it's gonna frantically wiggle towards them.
At some point, the hunched over entity turns away from the car, but the vehicle turns towards them, I guess to keep track of where they are using the headlights, and then this happens.
Sorry, but I feel like the natural reaction to this would be to whoever is this, just run them over. I think that would be the natural reaction for most people. Just run it over. It's that simple.
There's a pretty good chance you've seen this clip before. When it comes to creepy and unexplained videos on YouTube, this one's been passed around a lot over the years. The most popular upload of it currently has more than 3 million views. Its title reads, Saudi Arabia Police Encounter a Real Witch. While this version may have been put up on YouTube in October 2017, it most certainly isn't the earliest known upload. In fact, this video has a very strange history on the internet. When you start digging into the origins of this clip, you'll notice that it's very difficult to put together any sort of concrete story behind it, even with a detail as simple as the country it was filmed in. While the most popular upload says it was filmed in Saudi Arabia, several other versions say it was filmed in different cities in India. This upload says it was filmed in Bhutan. The British tabloid The Daily Star wrote an article in 2016 saying that the video was filmed in India, while the Huffington Post have wrote a different article a year earlier stating that the video was filmed in Lancashire in the UK. You know, the
Everywhere. Video worldwide here. Every place, everywhere. Yeah, definitely. That definitely looked like the UK. Definitely.
Famous deserts of Lancashire. None of this speculation ultimately matters though, because the voices in the video are speaking Arabic, and the clip does appear to be filmed in some sort of desert-like place, so I think we can assume that it was at least filmed in an Arabic country. But there is another piece of evidence to support that it could have been filmed specifically in Saudi Arabia. Despite the conservative nature of Islam, belief in the supernatural
Broski, that's just the average Muslim woman again. I'm sorry.
is actually somewhat common in Muslim culture. Witches and jinns are not fictional concepts to many Arab people in the Middle East, they're simply a fact of life. So much so that in 2009, the Saudi Arabian government formally organized an anti-witchcraft unit to deal with the threats posed by black magic to the public. This has more or less caused a modern-day witch hunt in the country, with 118 people arrested on charges of witchcraft in 2009 alone. By 2011, the unit had brought about almost 600 arrests related to witchcraft and black magic, which mostly targeted foreign workers from Africa and other parts of Asia. Is it possible that this really is a clip
So just hidden racism? A classic.
of two Saudi police officers investigating a potential witch? Personally, I think this video is fake. Like I said earlier, it's almost a carbon copy of these Arab ghost hunting videos that will become popular only a couple years later. Both are vertical videos taken in the desert at night, approaching some strange ghostly figure. I think this witch video is merely the prototype for all the Arab ghost hunting videos that came after it. In terms of the origins of this clip, a user on Reddit was able to find the oldest upload on YouTube, which is from December 2014, but I don't think this is the original version of this video. According to this comment I found on Reddit, this clip was very popular quite a while ago in Saudi Arabia, but it found its way between people not on YouTube, but in WhatsApp groups. This would explain the lack of a single origin for this video.
That could possibly be... That could possibly... Like... WhatsApp? That doesn't surprise me, though. To be fair, it is obvious that it's fake, right? I don't think any... Like, police would not react this way. Possibly. You're probably gonna get gunned down, so, nah.
There just simply isn't one on the surface internet. This commenter also says his personal theory is that this video shows us a mentally ill Bedouin person accidentally spooking the people filming in the car. The Bedouin are a group of Arab tribes that live a traditional nomadic lifestyle. This would explain not only the strange clothes the supposed witch in the video is wearing, but also why they're in the desert at night in the first place. I think this is a plausible theory, but I do personally think the entire thing is fake, just like the Arab ghost hunting videos. This video going viral purely through being shared around private groups is not something that really happens anymore. But it was very common back in the early days of Web 2.0, and it's why a lot of older creepy videos have such dubious origins. There just isn't a single point of entry in the surface web someone can point to and say, that's where this video comes from. Our final topic for today is
Yeah, but that's mostly just for old videos. Like, you would never be able to reproduce something like this in modern times because, well, people can just point... It's easily to find an origin of a video nowadays than, with like older videos being uploaded in the past. Like, there's a good chance that the original upload of that video, just like got nuked throughout like the decade. You never know.
video we've already discussed in the past on this channel, and it's one that has mysterious origins for similar reasons, and we're going to uncover some new information about it today. Back in the summer of 2024, I wanted to make a video about the scary things you could find on YouTube that had very little views. YouTube's unwatched horrors. When coming up with an intro for that video, I wanted to talk about a personal experience I had stumbling across something terrifying on YouTube that felt like nobody else had seen. After all, horror is greatly intensified when it's felt in isolation. Adding context, a backstory, and sharing in the experience with others just lessens the overall feeling of unease. The video I chose to go with was Kuyang Dayak. Yeah, it wasn't unwatched by a long shot, but back when I first saw it in 2013, it wasn't a commonly passed around video, and there was next to no information about it online. Most of the comments were written in Indonesian, and it truly felt like I clicked on something that I shouldn't have, which was the feeling I wanted to capture. As we talked about in Unwatched Horrors, and as other YouTubers have also uncovered, Kuyang Dayak depicts
What the actual shit? What the fuck, man? What the fuck? What is that? Who made this? Yeah, that's uncanny. That looks way too real. That looks like the animal part looks way too real.
A sort of sideshow attraction that's common in Pakistan. A man sticks his head through a box to make it look like he has the body of a stuffed fox, and onlookers pay to have a conversation with him. He acts as a sort of fortune teller. The most popular of these fortune tellers is known as Mumtaz Begum. In almost all the footage online you'll find of these strange sideshows are specifically showing you this fortune teller. And that leaves us with a question. Where does this clip in particular come from? Because this is one of the only videos I could find online of one of these fortune tellers that is not Mumtaz Begum. And
yeah, and the bat quality just makes it straight up worse.
on top of that, the man or creature in Kuyan Dayak appears to be in some sort of state of distress. Its lips move in an unnatural manner and it makes no sound. It's a lot more unsettling looking than Mumtaz Begum.
Enggak kan? Pinaputol po na katakan pulutol po na Oscar itu ya. Kon pulutol, singkan pulutol. Aku na katakan kena pulutol. Video ko na kay. Iyalah. Lalu tu gong kawin itu takpung. Ngomong na tu buku yang segitu andonyo. On hide kan aja gua.
At the end of YouTube's Unwatched Horrors, I told you guys that I was actually able to uncover some information about Kuyan Dayak that nobody else had previously uncovered. Mostly that there was a much earlier and much more viral upload of it that was put up on YouTube all the way back in 2007. This version has 24 million views, and it in turn links back to this Indonesian news website which contains an article discussing the video. The article says that the video actually depicts a disobedient child that has been transformed into an awful creature. But more importantly for our story, it says that the incident occurred in an Arab country. In YouTube's Unwatched Horrors, I had said that even this 2007 upload was probably not the original version because it contains music, whereas Kuyan Dayak seems to contain the original audio, which means it must have been taken from a different upload. Is there a chance that the true and possibly Arabic origin to Kuyan Dayak is out there somewhere in some forgotten corner of the internet?
Probably, but then again, if it's been that long and that old, chances are that the original uploader's channel has been nuked or disappeared or has been deleted. That's usually what I would assume.
After a bit of digging, I was able to find a slightly earlier upload on YouTube. This one is from February 2007, and wouldn't you know it, both the title and the audio in the video are in Arabic. In fact, the audio here is completely different than Kuyan Dayak. It would appear that Chibonk182, the channel that uploaded Kuyan Dayak, dubbed his own audio into this video for whatever reason. The title of this upload when translated into English reads, "A Girl Who Turns Into an Animal." The audio in the video makes a lot more sense in this version. It's obviously in Arabic, and the creature isn't just moving its lips with no sound coming out, it was actually talking all along.
Still so weird why you would make this. That is so weird. Why would you? I don't know, man. Still weird as hell.
I turned on auto-translated captions to get an idea of the conversation that was happening, which appears to be pretty normal for this sort of sideshow attraction. The cameraman and his friends are basically just asking the creature why it's so strange. This upload has 13 million views, and I think it's safe to say that this is the true origin for Kuyan Dayak, at least on the surface web. I wouldn't be surprised if this video was originally passed around privately using Bluetooth file sharing on flip phones or whatever other low-tech techniques for passing around videos existed back then. Searching the title on Google...
Bro, if I had received this through Bluetooth, I'd just like burn the entire phone at this point.
I was able to find some pretty old posts on some Arabic forums, but nothing suggesting that there's an earlier upload out there. I think we can finally call this case closed for Kuyan Dayak. I hope you guys enjoyed today's exploration into some of the horrors lurking in the Arabic internet. If you're still watching this far into the video, why not consider subscribing? And if you want more of what we do, leave a Patreon where you can find exclusive bonus content, including a few full-length Farrell McGuire videos that aren't on YouTube. $5 unlocks everything across the board. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a good night.
Nah. After seeing this, nah. Okay, so simplified, Arabic ghost hunting and generally Arabic horror seems to be a lot more, especially, well, most of the ghost hunting, I don't know what other stuff there's, but the ghost hunting is a lot more, pretty much aggressive than what we have here in the West, which is interesting. Like here in the West, we don't really have dudes just hanging from the ceiling or taped guys. We don't have that. It's just ghosts, quote unquote, running past you. It's a lot more aggressive. I kind of find that intriguing. That is intriguing. It being more aggressive is very much more intriguing. But yeah. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.